we're going to run through this fairly quickly. We've got about an hour today, and the idea is for us to give you that overview, and then a couple of our board members are going to go through a little bit more detail in each of their portfolio areas to just explain a little bit further. So let's kick ourselves off here. So at the start of this year in our February breakfast, we put this slide up, which was to give our members an opportunity to be able to understand some of the core areas that we're focusing on this year and what we do as an organisation. And you'll see that it covers things like member experiences, communication, our My Community, which includes all the My Board portfolios and groups, our education space, the Women in Business programs, as well as things like advocacy and how we're planning to grow. So we're going to go through each of these and just give you a really quick update on what's been happening in each of these spaces. And the first one I just wanted to touch on was really around some of the critical things we've been doing as an organisation over the last 3 months, actually probably more like 4, because we began this process at the start of December last year. And that was to tackle 3 key areas, which are the foundation of the organisation and making sure that it's stable for the future, for this year as well as for the future. And there's some fantastic lessons we as an organisation learned out of the whole COVID process, just like every other business. And some of these things really helped us to change what we were doing, improve what we're doing. And this is where we've been focused on things like membership growth. Richard has been working his tail feather off for us over the last quarter, and last month was a fantastic month. As a chamber, we had a record of 19 new members in the month of February, which is really encouraging. It means that businesses are getting out and they're connecting and they're seeing the value of building relationships, and they're seeing that the chamber is a place where they can do that, which is excellent opportunities for everyone. We also completely overhauled and changed the way we partner. So we looked at all of our partnerships programs, and that was around the core service providers that supply services to the chamber to help us operate on a day-to-day basis. We last week had a partnerships lunch so that we could catch up with some of those partners and talk about what we're doing for the year and connect them better to each other as well. Our sponsorships program has been now formalised, and we've started bringing on sponsors for the year, which helps us from an income perspective, and it also helps us to deliver some really great benefits to our members. And the next cab off the rank for us is around our alliances, and this is where, beyond our fantastic alliance relationship that we have with the Hills Shire Council, we also have the opportunity of developing better reciprocal relationships with other organisations out there who are also membership-based organisations to help spread the reach and the opportunity for our members and for theirs. And then the third area is around the foundations, and that's about improving our policies and our processes, creating a bigger team of leaders, and in particular, the thing we've been focusing on in quite a bit of depth over the last 3 months is having comprehensive budgets and budgeting processes so that we feel very confident as an organisation that we have the right cash flow to support all the wonderful initiatives we'd like to do and the things we do today. And the team have done a fantastic job on that for us. So Lilette, I'm going to flick to you to give us a little bit of an update as our public officer. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Do that.
Go for it.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you so much. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the general meeting. So as Kerry said, I'm Lilette Kaleja, and I am the public officer. I'm also the director of All That Counts. And so my role in the chamber is to pretty much look after all, as you can see, all the lodgements with Fair Trade and ATO as well. So the other thing I also do, which isn't probably noted here, is it's probably an omission on my part, is to tell you that we have had board meetings every single month, which have been minuted and have been signed as well. So as you can see here is an extract of the latest annual submission to Fair Trade. We need to submit our annual accounts to them by the 7th of, within 14 days. Oh, I can't remember now the actual date, but it's definitely within by the 7th of January, and we submitted on the 2nd of January. And all ATO obligations are also up to date, so you can be rest assured that your chamber is doing everything it needs to do for us to be acting in a proper and fit manner when it comes to all corporate governance affairs. Thank you, Kerry. I think that's all I have to say.
Fantastic. Now, why that's actually important for us to tell you that is that unfortunately there are many membership organisations, and some of them are chambers, that do not disclose or report their financials, and it is absolutely imperative and important for us to have full transparency with our members and with the general public. So we as an organisation have always provided our annual statements to the ATO, the Department of Fair Trading, and any other requirements that we have to ensure that we meet that. So that's something where if you've ever had any questions about, can people see our financials? The answer is yes, absolutely they can. That also means that all of our other compliance requirements around insurances are also taken care of. So that's one other thing that we make sure is in compliance as well. Thanks, Lilette, for that. I'm not sure if Farid has made it into the room as yet. I don't think so.
Is he there?
I don't think so. So I might just cover that off for him. So you can see there that our Treasurer's report for the year so far sits us in a very good position. So we as an organisation don't like to run in the red. We like to make sure that we have enough money to pay our staff. Richard is our only staff member. But we also need to make sure that we have commitments to our contractors and to all the other places that we have bought services from. So our job is to ensure that we run at enough profit to be able to cover those costs and also to grow. And we're sitting in a good, healthy position, which is important as an organisation. I'm not going to go through in infinite detail. You can see on screen there if you need to move your little image box. And if there are questions towards the end of the session, I'm more than happy for you to throw those questions. You can also put them into the chat box if you'd like as well, so that we can tackle those. If there's anything we can't answer that is in infinite detail, we will get Farid to be able to comment on that and respond to you today. But the good news is we're sitting in a healthy position and we're actively working on ensuring that we stay that way this year. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we had as our goals for the year. So member experiences is all about making sure that we have really great activities that people can connect in, that our Connectors program is healthy and assisting our members to connect when they are participating, that we have information sessions that allow new members to be able to find out about us and to join us. And then our golf days are another little additional extra of opportunity, slightly different to our normal networking events. So just a quick update on each of those so far this year. You'll see that we have all of our events back to face-to-face. The great news is, of course, the New South Wales Health Department have lifted restrictions and we're able to get up and mingle and enjoy each other's company as before. Our venues that we're holding our events at are really excited about this, and they are looking to really make our experiences over the next few months, as we're allowed to get up and mingle more, even better than was planned. So we're averaging between 50 to 80 guests at our events. That's across both our breakfast, our lunch and our after 5. This afternoon, we have our business after 5 and we have 60 guests attending. That's going to be a really great event. And our connector programs kick off again with connector teams starting to mingle and help people connect at the events from our April Chairman's Lunch. And one of our My Board teams has volunteered to support us and assist in that. So each of our My Board groups have the opportunity to participate as connectors at our events during the year, and so you'll start seeing more of those orange vests floating around with their clipboards from April onwards. The information sessions have been going really well this year. We're getting an average of between half a dozen to a dozen new businesses coming to our information sessions. They're all on Zoom. Richard runs those, and it's a wonderful opportunity to just explain what the Chamber does in really simple ways and answer any questions. And we're seeing quite a few people who are coming through those information sessions becoming new members with us, which is good news. And lastly, our golf days. So the first golf day of the year did in fact get rained out. However, we had 46 players all raring to go. And so at the last minute, we moved that to the 23rd of April and we've reopened the tickets. So if you missed out and you're thinking, you know what, maybe I will go now, it is open for registration. And so you are absolutely invited to participate and attend. Even if you're a terrible golfer like me, you'll still have a good day out. And we have lots more golf days planned for the rest of the year, which again, they're social, they're fun, and they're a really wonderful way to connect. And so they're kicking off. We are actually looking for a program sponsor currently for our golf days. So if you think that might be a great way to promote your brand across the chamber, and we do quite a bit of promotion for those events, as you've seen, if you'd like your business to be a part of that, then touch base with Richard and he'd be more than happy to take your cash or credit card on that one. So I'm going to get George to give us a bit of an update on our member marketing and communication, which covers a number of these key areas. George, if you want to unmute yourself, I'll throw up your first slide.
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay, so with the marketing update with the Chamber, we've introduced a 90-day strategy for marketing. Execution, although not fully underway yet because we've just still got to execute parts of it, I would say about 75% of it is underway. The aim of this 90-day strategy and then repurposing every 90 days is to align all marketing stakeholders and streamline all the resources and processes to move forwards towards interlinked targets and performance across all the different channels. So EDMs or email marketing, working with social media marketing working with the website, with the content performance, and they're all working together. The project officer team that Kerry helped select and helped me bring on board, it's been fantastic. And the content providers that we've got for the Chamber, we're lucky in that they're very strong. So Lee Morgan from Cure Collective is our project manager and project coordinator, and doing an excellent job helping with the execution of the marketing segment of the Chamber. Diana Ricidi from Crystal Creative doing email marketing, and Leonie Sason from Article Writers doing the content writing as well. So, and a lot of the content strategy, helping with the content strategy. So that's all coming together really well, and it's a great team I'm working with, very lucky with that. Currently, the social media database is sitting at around 48,100. This has increased 10% from the last quarter. So this is the number of ID numbers that we have on the back end of our social media accounts that we can have access to at any time. These aren't followers, these are like email addresses in the social media platform that we can directly access anytime. And we're going to look to hopefully monetize that through the Chamber, and also retarget those audiences to create more touch points for them, to create more members and retention of members. Across all social media, we're beating all industry averages by far, by quite a way, on both paid and organic. For example, last month, we reached 80,728 people in total impressions, which is up 8% on the previous month. So, and there's a lot of strong engagement with those impressions as well. It's about a 6% engagement rate, which is probably double an average campaign. Email marketing is really strong, and it just shows the engagement of members with the Chamber. It's in the database for the Chamber, it's consistently sitting above 20% on the open rates, which is encouraging to see, and it makes the job easier for the marketing side. So from our end, we just want to make sure we keep improving that and optimizing that, and go to the next level above that. We want to continue to support the strong start to the year in terms of membership growth, with better marketing practice and more work on streamlining processes as well, and looking forward to the new website launch, which I understand is just around the corner, and more focus on repurposing SHBC's, Sydney Hills Business Chamber's marketing after the first 90 days. So learning from what happened in the first 90-day strategy, repurposing and coming up with a new plan for another 90 days. And that will be a continual thing moving into the future as well. And just continue to push thought leadership of the Chamber and edification of the Chamber within the community and within Sydney-wide as well, making it someone that is a thought leader in business chambers, amongst chambers. So yeah, that's all from me, and exciting stuff on the marketing side.
Fantastic, George. Thank you. And just for members to understand, this is probably the first time that we have put in place as an organisation a devoted marketing strategy and have really taken this very seriously. We've done a lot of marketing over the years, but we haven't really done it in the same way that we do today. And so we're really taking it to its next level, because we see it as an important aspect of growing our organisation to our goal of hitting that 500 member mark over the next couple of years. So one of the key areas which we've been expanding and working on is, of course, My Community, and that's where we've brought under that umbrella of My Community the 4 areas of more intimate connection of our members, the ability to meet beyond just the big events in smaller group format and in social ways as well. So a little bit of an update from those teams. We've appointed a new project officer, Richard Nassif, who has joined the team over the last month, and he's going to be working with John Drury, who handles our My Community portfolio on the board, to support our My Board leaders as they grow their teams, and they as leaders within our organisation need to have a touch point to be able to deal with questions, problems, ideas that come from our teams. Our My Enterprise group, we've mentioned that at several of our events that we are getting that started. That's for our 15 to 50 employee businesses, of which we have quite a number of those in the chamber, and they need to connect in a different way for different periods of time. And so there's a working group that is meeting, I believe, next week, start fleshing out what that format will look like for them, which is probably a bit of a hybrid between our My Board groups and our My Corporate groups, who are already underway for the year, and a number of our team are already working on those. And our Yoho team, we've had a couple of new project officers who have joined us this year to support the Yoho enterprise within our organisation. That's for our 17 to 35-year-olds. That's both business owners as well as young people who are in the corporate and small business workspace, as well as those who are at this point in time just about to leave school. So part of that program has been some engagement with Norwest Community College, which is a K-12 school just at the northern area of Riverstone. And our team have actually been actively working with them to connect with their year 11 and 12 students. And that's been very successful, and that's already started a really nice connection there as a pilot, which we're looking to potentially do with other organisations who are schools and high schools and colleges in the region. So that's off to a good start for the year already. Education, Rebecca, you're in the room, so I might get you to do a little bit of an update on that. I've just got a couple of notes there that obviously our successful networking workshops have certainly been filled through April, and we've also got the new business education marketplace coming. But if you would like to give us a bit of an update on what's been happening in that space.
Oh, no. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Excellent. So the work we've been doing to, I guess, deliver on a bit of a refresh strategy this year is we're wanting to support our new members in a really positive way. And we also want to support our existing members. So focusing on the new members, we're working closely with Richard to really give them a good head start in understanding how to connect with people well within the chamber. And the way in which we connect has changed dramatically. So we've really shifted that training course to cover all ways that you could connect. So if you're hearing from new members reaching out, saying hi, asking to catch up and get to know you outside of events, then don't be surprised. We've also introduced a part 2 to that networking training, and that's like a bit of a refresher. So rather than just do one training session and send them off on their way to figure it all out, we get them to come back a few months later and we just kind of refresh and workshop where they might be having some challenges and overcoming some of those fears that they have perhaps about networking or coming into a new environment. We had our first refresh part 2 session only a week or 2 ago, actually, and it was amazing. It was a really good experience. I was there and facilitated with one of our amazing education partners, Leanne, and we're really excited about continuing to run that throughout and make it available really for new members over the first 12 months of their membership. And then moving on to how we're wanting to support existing members, the new business education marketplace is basically, it's like a online learning platform as such within our website, where existing members can pay to list their business education, webinars, and information to really promote themselves within our community and show their expertise. What it does for other members is it creates a really great place where you've got all these resources available from all of our our amazing members and really benefiting from all of the expertise within the Chamber membership community as well. So we're really excited to have that launching really soon. And I guess it'll be really nice to kind of show you that when it's up and running over the next few weeks.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that'll be very exciting when that comes off. And one of the other things I believe we're also looking at is we've got members who have been members probably for the last couple of years, and with the whole COVID, right bang smack in the middle of their membership, they may also want to do a bit of a refresher on that networking successfully as well. So if we have members who are in that category who say, look, I wouldn't mind going to a refresher, then all you need to do is just touch base with us and let us know, and we can then see when the next successful networking part 2, because you've probably done the first one quite a while ago, we can look at getting you involved in that so that you also have the benefit of participation.
And Kerry, just on that, the best would be to shoot an email to Richard and he'll be able to book you in to the next available.
Right, so that's the membership@Sydney Hills Business email that you can touch base, or you can use the website to connect with us there through the contact forms. Lovely, thank you, Rebecca. So we've probably covered off previously at some of our events that we're expanding our Women in Business program. There are a lot of women who have gone into business in our community over the last couple of years because they've wanted to or because they've had to. And so we're wanting to tap into those people who want to network and connect with other professional business owners, both men and women. Our successful lunches have been already scheduled for the year, and we've already got some great speakers that we're lined up, which we will announce over the next couple of weeks. But we've also put an invitation out to anyone who would like to participate in a working group to assist us in brainstorming ways that we can expand what we're doing in that Women in Business space. So if that's something you're interested in, you need to touch base with us. You can send a message either to Richard at the membership or you can send it directly to me at chairman@Sydney Hills Business. We've already had a few people put their hands up, and we'd like to get a group together to do a bit of a brainstorm in April. So if that's you, we'd love to hear from you. As I mentioned, we're just finalising our guest speakers and our sponsors, and that will go out very shortly. And the focus is really just creating more connection opportunities for different types of people in our chamber in different ways. Richard and I had a really lovely discussion last week with Ridges at Norwest, and they had some really great ideas about things like maybe high teas and a whole bunch of things that we could be doing at that venue. So we definitely want to explore how we might be able to use some of the other venues throughout our membership this year as well. Another thing that we have been working on is our industry and area specific programs. So our CEO lunches are scheduled for the year. We're just finalising our guest speakers and sponsors this month, and so that information will go out as well very shortly. Our industry roundtables, the first of which is a roundtable with key industry players across the 3 precincts throughout the Hills Shire, which is the Rouse Hill, Castle Hill and Norwest precinct, and that will happen in May. And then after that, there will be some further industry roundtables and industry cluster groups, which will be coming out of both our CEO lunches as well as those roundtables to really help us to group together organisations who are in the same industry, who could be doing business with each other as chamber members. And it's almost like a My Board, but a little bit of a different flavour because it's focused on specific industry groups together. And you'll see more about that in Q2 coming out. And we'll probably begin rolling those out from about May onwards, depending on how quickly we can get them together. Chairman's Lunch, you'll obviously been seeing me banging on about this. It is actually a really big opportunity. We have 85 guests already registered as at today. I'm expecting we'll have about 200, maybe more, because that 85 have all signed up in the last week. So we should see probably twice that again over the next week. We have the opportunity for members to book tables of 8 to be able to bring your colleagues and your clients, and that's still at the member rate. So that's an opportunity also to potentially promote your business. So if you're interested in having a bit of a chat about that, give Richard a call and have a chat about that opportunity. But make sure you get your tickets, because we really want to make sure all members have an opportunity to participate. Whether you can get there or not, we've sent an email out last week which had a little link to our Slido app. That's the website that we use to do our surveys at all of our events. We're not doing an open mic at this event. As you can imagine, our politicians get awfully nervous if we do something like that, but we do want to make sure that the questions which are pitched to those panels are constructive and on point for what our members care about. So if you use that Slido link and put in the hashtag SHBC chair as the event per that email, you can post any question you would like to have asked of the panels, and we're going to collate those all a couple of days before the event so that we can go through and make sure we cover as many of those questions as possible at the event for you on your behalf. So a little bit on leadership development. As we've been pulling together all of our processes and our teams and our key structures, we are heading towards the possibility of having a really good and robust plan around the development of leadership and influential business leaders in our community. So I'm not going to cover much about that today, but those programs will probably go into development towards the back end of Q2 and into Q3 this year. The Amplify Your Voice, which is our advocacy area of our organisation, we have already launched a working group, and we're looking to gather anyone else who has an interest in how Chamber can have a very constructive voice to government and to other leaders, and to have a good framework around how we do that. So if that's something you have a bit of a passion for, I'd definitely like to hear from you, and we'd like to get that group off and brainstorming next month. I just wanted to cover CAUSE. CAUSE is something which we've mentioned a few times, and I just wanted to make sure everyone actually understood what CAUSE is. So CAUSE is the Chamber Alliance of Western Sydney, and there are currently, I believe, 12 Richard members and growing, I believe, who are all chambers across Western Sydney who are committed to actively working together, not only to support each other's goals, but also to present a collective voice for business across Western Sydney. This is a very important organisation that we're a part of, because it essentially takes whatever our key concerns are, our needs as businesses in the Hills local government area, and amplifies that by marrying that with what matters to the Hawkesbury, what matters to Blacktown, what matters to Parramatta, etc. So it allows us to have a much greater influence about the decisions that are made that affect us as a community. So I just wanted to touch on that in case you didn't know what CAUSE was, to just explain that that's a core part of our advocacy strategy, as well as part of our alliance strategy this year. And then the last part of that is that we're looking to make sure that we're starting to embed some data collection, and that's changing those 30-page surveys that you got once a year into just one question a week, one question an event, and then collecting that information so that we're able to use that to make good decisions as a chamber, and also gather the voice of our business community to take to other people. Member benefits, the number one focus that we have got this year, but particularly over the last quarter, is that we want people to activate and use their benefits to the full extent that they can, so that they're getting the most out of that process and the most out of their membership, and that it helps them grow their business this year. So if you're not quite sure how to activate your benefits or what is available to you, please touch base with Richard or Amanda in our office through either the membership or support and just have a chat about what your benefits are and how you can get them activated and working. The first thing you can do is just go online and make sure your member directory profile is 100% up to date, because it's a great way just to even boost your SEO as a business. I'm going to get Phil to give us a little bit of an update on what has been happening in the systems and technology space over the last quarter and where we're going next. Phil?
Thank you, Kerry. So my name is Phil Patelis. I own a business called Able, and I do consulting and advisory services around technology for organisations in the mid-market space in Australia. And I joined the Chamber a couple of years ago and joined the board in October of 2020. And since then, we sort of put a plan together to look at how we can take the systems and technology forward for the Chamber. And looking at that, what became evident was we needed to start with the foundational items. So really, since October of last year through to now, we've been focusing on getting control of all our systems and data and information. The Chamber's grown organically over a number of years, and there's been a lot of people provide services for free, which has been amazing. And where the Chamber is now, and all these programs in place that Kerry's been talking about, for us to get to the next level, we need to ensure that we have control of all those systems. And so we're sort of moving from people offering services for free to us being able to control all those systems. And so that's really been what we've been doing, which is sorting the foundations out. And sort of moving now into the future, it's really all about member experiences. And we can see there's a number of programs and initiatives in the chamber. And so as we move forward with all the technology platforms, it's all about the experience of our member and how they can get access to information and be able to register for events on our website. And so that's really the foundation of the first box there. Is the new website is due to go live in a number of weeks now. And so that website will start having some new interface changes to allow people to register a lot easier, to be able to get the invoices on the website. And so we're looking forward to that coming to fruition very shortly. The new member interfaces is what I touched on about the member experiences. And so we're really focused on analysing a lot of feedback. So at the last couple of events, we've received a lot of positive feedback about what people would want to see from an experience point of view. And so we're really gathering all that information together at the moment, and we're rethinking what those new systems will look like. And that's really how people log onto the web, how they register for events, register for My Board applications. And so we're trying to make that as seamless as possible and make sure that people can do that easily from the mobile device. And so as you'd imagine, there's a lot of analysis that needs to happen early on, and there's a lot of helpful feedback. And so you don't want to under-deliver, and you also don't want to try and deliver everything, otherwise we'll never get there. So we're just working through to get that right balance at the moment. And one of those listed here is the automated check-in to events, whereas at the moment, a lot of people have to check in on paper and check in multiple times. You know, one of those benefits will be able to walk in, scan your phone, and just be checked into an event. So that's probably it for me, Kerry.
So one of the exciting parts of our relationship with the Chords network is that we're able to also, as a part of what we scope out as the future of the systems over the next year or two, get the input of other chambers as some of the things they either have done or they would like to do that we're able to build into our own platforms, which enable us to future-proof, if you like, what we're doing as a chamber. So one of the next phases beyond, obviously, the first phase of the new website will be midway through this year, really taking the time, and Phil will be leading this, to scope out what our system requirements are to enable us to do essentially anything we'd like to do data-wise and from a web point of view, and then to implement that. And that gives us a huge amount of information, power, automation that just makes any of the wonderful ideas that our board and our members have possible to execute without being an administrative nightmare. So thanks for that, Phil. So I thought we might just flick back very quickly, because I think, Farid, you in the room? I saw you get in.
Yes, sorry.
Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to flick back to your report and let you just quickly give us an overview before we go into Q&A. Here we go. If you want to just give us a quick run through of your stats and information, anything else on that?
Sure. Firstly, sorry for being late. So the bank balance as at the end of February was 89,624. Total assets as at the end of February was 122,969. Included in that, we had 33,359 in accounts receivable. And our total liabilities up to the end of February was 29,258. Our 8 months income was 130,121, and our profit for the period up to the end of February was 2,449. Included in that, we received 10,000 for the cash flow stimulus boost, and we've received JobKeeper of 21,900, and the JobKeeper will be receiving till the end of March, and it will be completing at the end of March.
Thanks, Farid. So what we're going to do in a moment is go into Q&A. I just want to preface those financials also by letting our members know that one of the things that was a massive change at the end of last year, which was a result of course, COVID, is that in previous years, our venues have had the luxury, if you like, of being incredibly generous to the Chamber in their ability to provide us quite reasonably priced catering and venue hire. And that's helped us to keep our ticket prices down significantly for members to our events, but also that each of our events made a small profit, which then, of course, went into our income for the year. At the end of last year, of course, all of our venues were hit incredibly hard, and therefore it was unreasonable for us to expect anything like the same offer that they would be able to provide to us. But we wanted to also support those venues. So as a part of our partnerships process, Richard and I spent quite a bit of time with all of our partner venue members to negotiate a new deal for the year ahead that would provide those venues with a reasonable fee for their services and their catering that wouldn't put them in any jeopardy, but also would allow us to keep the ticket prices as low as possible for our members. And the impact of that as a chamber is that in the positive way, our members are still able to afford to participate actively in all of our events. And one of the things you may not be aware of or might not have activated as a benefit is you can actually invite guests and colleagues and clients to attend your event with you as a member price. So when you book your ticket, you can actually add an additional person to that and they would get the member rate. And it's something many of our members aren't actually aware of. And we'd like to encourage you to bring guests to our events. The thing you do need to be aware of is that as a result, most of our events actually don't run at any form of profit. And that's one of the reasons why we've spent quite a bit of time working on our sponsorships and other income streams this year, because to genuinely make a large enough profit on our events, we would have to significantly increase the ticket prices, which we're not willing to do because we want our members to participate as much as possible and be able to afford to do so. So just so you're aware that, whilst we've got cash in the bank and where we're doing well, at the same time, we're being very careful about that balancing act and being as transparent about that as possible for everyone involved. So let's jump into a bit of Q&A. I'm just going to flick back to these slides to our last one and invite anyone who does have a question, if you do want to unmute yourself, just maybe raise your hand if you know how to do that in the little chat box. Just trying to make this, I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute. Has anyone got any questions they would like to ask any of our team? Just unmute yourself if you do. Perhaps we've done such a good job today that you have no questions at all. No, I've got nothing in the chat. Okay, well, Dave, have you got anything you want to add as our Deputy Chair to today? You'll need to unmute yourself, however.
Yep, no, you've covered it exceptionally well, but I guess I'm hoping people, I'm hoping that they're hearing that there's a lot of emphasis on the member. The language is common across a lot of portfolios. We're talking about member experience and activating member benefits. So it really is a lot of concerted initiative in ensuring members, this is a member organisation, this isn't about the board, it's about ensuring that for the sake of members, that the Chamber is actually delivering outcomes that the members require and desire for continuity of membership for future years.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. Well, I think if we don't have any other further questions for today, and that doesn't preclude you in any way from raising any questions you might have after today with our membership, so please touch base with Richard or any one of our board members through the Chamber if you do have a specific question you'd like to ask offline. But we're thanking you today for participating in the general meeting, and I hope I'm going to see some of you tonight or at least over the next couple of months at our next events and activities. So thank you again for participating and supporting the Chamber as a member, and we will see you very, very soon. Thank you for today.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barry.
Bye.